Algeria to bar unauthorized protests. More clashes in Jerusalem ahead of nationalist march. Escape leopard on the loose near China City. Details of these and more after this break. I am Omoye Ogbeide. The Algerian government says any protest not approved has been prohibited. The Friday mass demonstrations began in February 2019 and knocked down the long-term president Abdelaziz Bouteflika, who was seeking a fifth term in office. The Interior Minister in a statement accused the protesters of causing nuisance to the wider population. It said organizers must now provide their personal details as well as the march's itinerary, slogans and timings. The ministry warned that non-compliance will render the protest illegal. And the United Nations says more than 100 former peacekeepers from Ethiopia have sought international protection and have applied for asylum in Sudan. Ethiopian peacekeepers refused to return to Ethiopia over the fear of persecution. The UN says instead of returning home when their mission ended in the Darfur region, over 120 Ethiopian peace seekers applied for asylum in Sudan. According to reports, this development is linked to the ethnic tensions that have deepened in Ethiopia as a result of the conflict in the northern Tigray region. And the United States government has issued emergency legislation after the largest fuel pipeline in the U.S. was hit by cyber attack. The Colonial pipeline carries 2.5 million barrels a day, 45% of the East Coast supply of diesel, gasoline, and jet fuel. It was completely knocked offline by cyber criminal gang on Friday and is still working to restore service. The emergency status relaxes rules on fuel being transported by road. And around 75,000 people have signed an open letter warning about the threat of civil war in France. The message, published in a right-wing magazine, accuses the French government of granting concessions to a particular religion. The French government condemned a similar letter published by semi-retired generals late last month. The minister in charge of the armed forces, Florence Parly, said at the time that they would be punished for defying a law that forbids reservists or serving members of the military from expressing opinions in public on religious and politics. On religious matters and politics. However, far-right leader Marine Le Pen, a candidate in next year's presidential election, spoke out in support of the estimated 1,000 servicemen and women who backed the letter. And there has been clashes between Palestinians and Israeli police outside Al-Aqsa mosques in Jerusalem ahead of planned Jewish nationalist march. More than 200 people were injured as crowds threw stones and officers fired stun grenades in response. It comes amid soaring tensions in the city, which has seen weeks of unrest. Earlier, Israeli police decided to bar Jews from visiting the compound where the mosque is located during the annual Jerusalem Day flag march. The event marks Israel's capture of East Jerusalem, home of the old city and its holy sites, in 1967, and usually sees hundreds of flag-waving Israeli youth make their way through Muslim areas, chanting and singing patriotic songs. It is regarded by many Palestinians as a deliberate provocation. This year's march is also taking place in the final days of the Islamic holy month of Ramadan. And at least 4 people have been injured after a stabbing attack at a New Zealand supermarket. The stabbing took place at a Countdown supermarket in central Dunedin on South Island. According to authorities, 1 person has been taken into custody. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said the motivation behind the attack was not clear, but that there was no indication it was a domestic terror event. Countdown in a statement, said the store will remain closed for the rest of Monday and on Tuesday. And authorities in China are searching for a leopard that escaped from a wildlife park near the eastern city of Hangzhou more than a week ago. The animal was one of 3 leopards to escape from safari park. 2 were recaptured over the weekend. According to state media, locals reported seeing the animals as early as 1st of May, but the park only confirmed they were missing on Saturday. It has since apologized for the delay, adding that it wanted to avoid panic. Video footage posted on social media site last week appeared to show a leopard in a tea plantation. On the 8th of May, the local government confirmed on Weibo that 2 of the animals had been recaptured, but 1 leopard remains at large. And that's KUFM's news around the world, but before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. Algeria to bar unauthorized protests. More clashes in Jerusalem ahead of nationalist march. An escaped leopard on the loose near China City. Do you remember that the continued unity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility? Be sure to play your part. Do not forget you can listen to us anywhere in the world by visiting our website at www.kufm.net or download our mobile app from the Google Play Store. We are also on YouTube at KUFM Nigeria. KUFM's News Around the World was produced by Nusakai Wadiai. I am Omoyo Ogbaide.